Well, morning everybody. Another morning on the marsh, trying to make use of these big spring tides. I think it's roughly about 8.5 meters today. Anything over 8 meters, when it comes in through the creeks, it floods out onto these bits of green top or salt marsh pasture. So you get an opportunity to decoy ducks into areas where you don't normally get them. But there's only a few spring tides every season, so I tend to mark them in my calendar a long way out and try and make use of them. So I've set up somewhere slightly different today, in that the teal normally come racing up the creeks like teal do and then bomb out. And the last time I was coming, they would circle around into this kind of back eddy. So I'm going to set a pattern. I'm going to set my hide up here and set a pattern up in here with a spinny wing mojo duck here somewhere and a pattern out there, hoping that I can see them coming directly, and then I can hopefully decoy them into this area and get 20-25 yard shots. Could be greener, I suppose. Maybe pull up some of those grasses and work them in. It'll do, it'll do. I've brought an extra net to put over the kayak. The paint's coming off the kayak and it's revealing the garish yellow paint underneath, so I'm sure it spooked a few ducks yesterday, so I brought a net down and covered it over. So here's my decoy spread, and for anyone familiar with the film Zulu, you'll recognise the tactics we're going for here. The classic horns of a buffalo shape, we've got long sides and some clustered tail in the middle, and the spinny wing thingy majig going there. So hopefully they'll come and maybe want to settle into the pattern somewhere there, and then the horns close and we make the kill here. Oh, time for a break. It's nice to be not in a rush, so you can just feel unpressured and set everything up and not feel hurried. And then life's not like that, of course, but usually rushing around like a mad thing trying to get set up with 5 minutes to spare. But I came extra early to set everything up. I'm going to spin that. I'm going to turn that mojo around so its back's facing that viaduct. When the tide comes, a lot of the Wigeon packs are going to be coming and popping up over the viaduct and coming this way. So if they have a line of sight, it might be better if it's got its back to that end of the estuary. I like this setup. It feels much more comfortable than the last time. Better view, and it just feels like we've got options on both sides rather than just one. My hide does look better from a distance, I guess. It's just there. Blends in a bit better than I thought. So on this flight I was expecting, based on the previous day, for it to be just mainly teal coming up the creek, so I'd set up for teal, not really expecting many Wigeon to come in because I hadn't been the day before. But it was a pleasant surprise actually, as you're about to see. The Wigeon I found are very unpredictable. Some days you'll get what appear to be very perfect stormy conditions and you hardly see a bird, and then on other days where it's quite still and overcast, they'll pile in. But I remembered my earmuffs this time instead of just stuffing bits of tissue into my ears. One thing here, and probably common to a lot of salt marshes, is the sky is literally black with birds all the time. There's a mega flock of starlings, there's redshank constantly moving around, a huge roost of jackdaws and rooks moving around, curlews constantly flying in the distance, cormorants constantly flying. There's flocks of sniper get pushed out by the incoming tide, they're constantly flying, and I did actually resist having a shot, but they're always flying over the hide, and sooner or later I snap and have a shot at them, usually miss because they're so small, and I'm, well, not the best shot. But the sky, you're constantly trying to pick out the ducks and the duck outlines on this horizon out of all the kind of the white noise, if you like. It adds to the challenge. This is the first Wigeon of the day. Noticed on the last 3 or 4 flights on this marsh, all the activity, certainly it's a very intense flight for about half an hour, pack after pack, singles and small groups, which is probably what you want to kind of lessen the disturbance. It seems to happen in quite a short, intense space of time, and then it goes quiet either side of that. The day was getting greyer all the time, which is good for Wigeon. I found over 20 years of hunting them with falcons, the best conditions in my mind for Wigeon coming inland is the grey, drizzly, rainy conditions. I would always have that over stormy conditions at any day a week. It seems to give them confidence, the darker conditions, especially when there's drizzle, to come inland. Missed behind there, as with most people who've missed on with shotgun at game. It's normally you're missing behind rather than in front. And this year, well, lately I'm trying to kind of consciously break out of muscle memory and overlead the birds to try and get out of the misses I've had. You'll see here on these slow motion shots the pattern kind of disappearing behind the bird. To slow it down enough, you can see the pattern of shot going out there like a net, and you can see it would have just gone behind that duck. So I am trying to kind of think about my shots and just give it more than I normally would. Time to go and have a pick up. The tide will be taking these ducks into this back of this bay. There's not much chance of losing them here because it is a bay and they've got to come back out again, the water. So, but don't want to lose them in the vegetation. This happens to me every time. A couple of decoys seem to somehow break loose of the mother line, even though they were clipped on. I don't know how they do it, but at least they haven't got wings and can't fly off, so I had to just collect these 2 first before I went and got the real ones. Just while we're collecting these ducks, if you could take a moment, if you enjoy this content as half as much as I enjoy making it, if you could like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it, and even possibly hit that notification button. That'll just prompt you for any new content coming up. Small Wigeon hen. So the neighbouring farmer came over on his quad bike for a bit of a chin wag right in the middle of the flight, but it didn't matter too much in that I only needed 1 more Wigeon to hit my limit. I have a 3 bird limit for each species of duck, so we only needed 1 more Wigeon. There weren't any teal coming, which was a bit odd, given that it was all teal the day before. In nattering away with the farmer, I forgot to, of course, put bullets back in the gun, and I discovered that you can't actually shoot fresh air at ducks and hit them. The old classic. Second trigger was a bit premature there, one of those ones where the finger slipped a wee bit. Can be quite annoying at the time, but quickly get over it, and that was a bad miss, but it's quite amusing to watch yourself losing your rag afterwards, but it really doesn't matter a jot. It's supposed to be fun, and those ducks will be there for another day. And that's our limit of Wigeon. So we were sat there hoping for teal and mallard to come in after that. Sat in the range trying to keep the camera equipment dry. Have a nice young immature Wigeon just going into full plumage. Beautiful ducks. Nice calm conditions for kayaking today, not like the next trip that you'll see where it was anything but I won't spoil the surprise. So that's going to do it for today. The tide's dropping away now, and we'll give the marsh a rest. There's been a far more Wigeon flighting today. I don't know why that is. Maybe a bit greyer, a bit windy, a bit rougher. Several packs of Wigeon came in. I shot well enough to get 3 Wigeon. I think all of them immature birds, which is good to see. 2 of them are now heading home with the farmer in his quad bike. He showed an interest in ducks, and he's never had Wigeon before, so see what he makes of those. And yeah, a lot of fun. Again, I'm far more comfortable shooting with the side by side, even though I didn't hit many, but I was shooting with subsonic 3s and 4s, just out of necessity. I'm out of ammo. I need to either buy some or load some up. But no, an absolute barrel of fun. Hoped you enjoyed it, and see you on the next tide.